one thing that all your fans agree on is that your best work or the best album that you work on was Rest in Peace, a very technical album. I would like to know how was your experience working on that album, some, anecdotes or something like that. Was it difficult to record the bass tracks on Rest in Peace?
Well, there's kind of two parts of that. One, we wrote that record. We started writing it while we were on the So Far So Good So What tour, in particular Holy Wars, stuff like that. We started it with Chuck Wheeler. He was our drummer. We parted ways with Jeff Young, but Chuck was still our drummer. We demoed up Polaris, Tornado Souls, and Holy Wars. And then as we got into the new year of 1989, we were transitioning through, a lot of drug use and stuff that we had to get cleaned up on, which we did. Yes. And then we spent the rest of 1989 writing the record, and we even did some demos of it in December of 1989 with Chris Poland playing guitar, because we didn't have and by this time Nick Menza was in the group. He'd come in the summer of 1989. We had done the song "No More Mr. Nice Guy" for the Shocker movie. So, that year was kind of this transitional year. And as we went in the studio to record, we wrote the record pretty heavily influenced by, drugs and booze and shit. But, we were sober, stone cold sober when we recorded it, and that began a new marching orders, kind of a new, way to operate, and be clear-headed, be present. And that's why the record is so precise. It's why it's played so well. It's why it's executed well. Basically, half of the record, me, Nick Menza, and Mike Klink did together. Dave wasn't even there. And so that was very cool. And that's how Dawn Patrol ended up on the record. Sort of recorded it and presented it to Dave, and he liked it. So, and then he came in and recorded. He and Marty then finished the record up, and with the guitars and vocals and everything. So, it was kind of a two-part record. And then Max Norman came in to mix it, which then began us working with him for the next couple of records and a bunch of one-off soundtracks. So yeah, it was, we had a great manager, Ron Lafitte, who really understood what we were doing, and how to get us to the next, to get us, on the path. So, Rest in Peace was more than, in my mind, it was more than an album. It was a complete reset of everything about us as a group and as young men, getting serious about our career and really moving into the next decade.
Cool, man. What do you think about Nick Menza as a drummer and as a person? For me, Nick Menza, for me, was the best drummer that Megadeth has.
Nick was Nick was a great friend. First and foremost, Nick was a great friend. He really helped me as I was transitioning into my sobriety. Got me into a lot of healthy stuff like mountain biking and playing tennis. Me and Nick and Mike Klink would go play tennis, in the morning before we'd go in the studio and work on the Rest in Peace album. And so, he's funny. So yeah. And as a drummer, obviously super creative guy. He was into painting. Now it seems like everybody paints. Like, I was like, Nick was doing this shit 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Nick was painting, and Nick was really ahead of the curve, on a lot of stuff. So it's obviously, we certainly miss him dearly. He was a wonderful soul and a wonderful brother. Nothing but love for Nick.